Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a happy Monday to you all. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. Hopefully your week is off to a great start. Thank you all for being patient with me because, boy, I've had a bit of a weekend. Wanted to get around to it on Saturday when I wanted to get around to it Friday. But Papa LT blew out his back moving inventory over at the warehouse, and I had to cover for him over the weekend just so his orders wouldn't fall behind. He does like online retail and stuff like that. So that happened, and then I went fishing with some friends last night, or I guess yesterday afternoon. And it was a very successful day. Caught a nice fish, caught a big old brown trout, very fun time. But we're back, we are in the office, or whatever you want to call it, my bedroom, I guess. I've queued up the Stray Kids album, and I'm very excited to get into it, because this is the Rockstar EP, I believe. Oh, it's hyphenated, but anyways, besides the point, the Rockstar EP, their 8th mini album. And this is going to be a fun time, I reckon. I mentioned Friday. It does not feel like that long since we got like S-Class and that 5-star album. But we've got new music from them, and I'm not going to complain. So, let's get started. DJ, rouse the intro. Now, admin stuff to get out of the way. If you're new around here, I've never been around for one of my album listens before. What we do is we just go through the album from start to finish. We might skip a couple songs here and there if we've already listened to them before. They're different languages, things like that. So we're going to run through every song and read off the credits off of every single song. I have them pulled up on my phone. And we'll just go from there. So if you want to skip ahead to a certain B-side of your choice, you can refer to it down in the timeline below, because they'll be chapter based off of whatever we're listening to. 2, JYP albums are typically okay, but there is a chance that this gets chopped up for content ID. Like it's a non-zero chance that this will get blocked. So if that is the case, I'm guessing editing me will put it in the description, but there'll be a link that'll take you off site, things like that. Thirdly, this is Zati Farani, who's an extremely well-reputable lyric video source, but there may be some, errors and things like that in terms of line distribution. I apologize on their behalf in advance. If there are any, it's not that big of a deal if there is. So let's get started. This is track number 1 on the album. This is Megaverse, lyrics by Bangchan, Changbin, Han, composition Bangchan, Changbin, Han, and Versace. Arrangement Versace and Bangchan. Bangchan. I find Chris's name very awkward to say, because in an American accent it just doesn't sound right, but hearing all the other homies, and they're all primarily all American, so hearing them say it in their American accents makes it sound right. Non sequitur. Anyways, let's get her moving. Holy cadence, Bangchan. Chris! I'll say this though. This song does not hold back on the energy, does it?
To the Stray Kids hot Megaverse.
Whoa!
Welcome to the Stray Kids hot Megaverse.
Even though I believe this is a full-length song, isn't it? Yeah, this is a full-length song. It feels like an intro song, and boy does it bring the energy. Oh. Oh, Jonghyun's got like a little bit of like a carefree attitude to that. That was really nice. The syllable per second count from Han there. This pre-chorus is actually very interesting because it feels like the song slows down in a way. Because you get like the bigger, longer chords, right? And then hot megaverse. Strike it. That's crazy. Getting the little whoo in a song like that really gets you pumped up. I imagine this live would be nuts. Oh, yeah, IN's delivery throughout this entire song just has such a laid-back attitude to it, and that's so cool. I was not ready for the song to pick up like this. Why are you not pausing? Ah, okay. Technical issues out of the way. That certainly makes a statement, doesn't it? It's one of those songs where it's a full-length intro. Thank you very much, JYP and the Stray Kids members. You often come across albums that start the album with an intro song. You know, it's like 90 seconds, a little bit, plus or minus a few seconds here and there. And a lot of times those intro songs are really good, but they never make it to become full-length songs. Still to this day, I'm really salty about, there's one intro song in particular that I'm still to this day so salty about that it's not a full-length song, and it's Yuju's Bad Blood from her debut solo album from last year, right at the beginning of last year. It's one of my favorite songs that Yuju has ever done. And it's an intro song that lasts like 1:20, and it makes me so sad knowing that that song will never reach full-length status. So to have a song like Megaverse that really packs a mean right hook of a punch, and you get it for the full 30 seconds, is so nice. It's like they don't cut it off once, because you get the full brunt of that 30 seconds of the drop once, then you get it again, and then you get it one more time as the final chorus, and it's like, yes, all of my dreams have been answered, and I wish more groups would follow suit. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyways, we move on to track number 3, because, well, track number 2 is the original version of La 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 La, which I've done a video on already. I actually very much enjoyed the song. So we're going to be skipping that just because we've already spent some time on it. But also, we're not done with that song for the album list because there's one more version at the very end of the song I'm really excited to get into with La 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 La. So we're going to jump ahead to track number 3. This is Blind Spot. Lyrics, I'm just going to call them 3 Racha at this point, like Bangchan, Changbin, Han, same 3 Racha members, and Willie Weeks on composition, Willie Weeks and Bangchan on arrangements. Here we go. I was wondering where the beat was gonna go just based off of the like overly distorted vocal chops to start. It's quick. It's really quick. IN, get your vocal flips, son. Okay. That pause bring in Hyunjin to just completely hold that pre-chorus until the release moment is very cool. That really overly distorted, like glitchy synth part is so interesting because it adds such a weird but rich texture. And then the song just drops way down. It's like, to create a contrast, yeah, it does a really good job. Again, Lino. It's like, for me with Lino and you too. Lino and Hyunjin, this era for me, is like, those are two members that my ears don't immediately go to when I listen to Stray Kids music, so they're really taking this out to be like, hey, LT, you're missing out on us. Fly up there, Chris. Ooh, big release. We're gonna get one more release, aren't we? I don't know how many of you caught that final like acapella finish. There's one vocal that's up there providing one very subtle vocal harmony. Whoever that is, shout out you, because it did not go unnoticed. It's so subtle and so very faint in the mix. So you have to really go and search for it. But to finish acapella like that, I think is very cool. I was wondering if we were gonna get like one more big release at the end, but instead they kind of like started filtering it down one by one until we were just left with the vocal part. And that's very cool. And honestly, I wish more groups did more acapella stuff because I think acapella music is so cool. We have Blind Spot. Ooh. It's a song that's very kind of, what was that song called? Time Out? Right? Mixtape Time Out? Dropped as a single, was added onto an album afterwards. It's very similar in that regards where it's kind of rock coded in a way. It's got certain rock elements to it, but without using a whole lot of actual true rock elements in it, and I think that's really interesting. But also, Blind Spot in that pre-chorus takes advantage of a lot of those musical silence moments, or really takes advantage of making contrasts by doing the complete opposite or getting rid of stuff to provide a more opportunistic chance to create contrast. I think that's really cool. And really, whenever you have a nice big drop or like a big release when it comes to a Stray Kids song, you could always typically expect it to be pretty hard hitting just because whatever is leading up to it is going to really accommodate for it. And I think Blind Spot is no exception to that. Nice. All right. Let's keep her moving one time. Song number 4. This is COMFLEX. I wish there was Hangul for this, because I don't actually know how to pronounce it. But lyrics by Sriracha. Composition, Sriracha and Million Boy on arrangements. Here we go. Quick rap start. Oh! Getting Lino to come in melodically like that without any supporting instruments behind him is really cool, because then we get this big melodic rush.
Nobody can stop me.
Now, following a bit of a more melodic song, I do quite like that we're getting a bit of a bouncy, rhythmic-oriented song like this. Clever way to hide in the shit. I was wondering if I misheard that the first time because I was too busy jamming along and I missed the lyric part. Oh, that hold. It got me looking silly over here. Man, the way the beat picks up in that chorus is very nice. I also like that this is one of those songs where members that typically would get a more vocally prominent section get vocal parts that have less of an emphasis on like the soaring high notes, and you get more of a rhythmic focus on their deliveries. Do you hear that harmony in the background? Ooh. COMFLEX is one of those more rap and rhythm based songs that had me worried at the beginning but have left a really good impact. It's very much along the lines of Wavy's Rodeo. These songs, when it's more rap and rhythm heavy, scare me a little bit because I don't have a really close association to rap music as I do with more melodic stuff like pop and rock. So I'm always worried that I'm not going to be able to understand the nuances of it or really truly appreciate the beauty that is that rap song. This song just makes it really easy to vibe along to, and I know it's not entirely melodic or it's not entirely rap and rhythm, but it is a lot more heavy in the rap and rhythm parts compared to the other songs in the album. So to be able to hear it and to be able to really enjoy it makes me happy, because that fear I had about how I'm going to approach it is completely gone now, because I could just really enjoy the vibe of it. And when a song can do that, I'm very impressed by it. And of course, this being Stray Kids, the energy is going to be immaculate too. And that chorus, how it has that second release at the end when it just goes, you really start to feel the beat on it. Yeah, I love that. I love it when songs do that. So, hell yeah. Right. Next up, song number 5. This is Cover Me. Lyrics by Hyunjin and Bangchan. Alright. And then composition, Hyunjin, Bangchan, Nico Young. And then Bangchan and Nico Young on arrangements. Hell yeah, get your credit, Hyunjin. It took me a minute to find the meter. Have I mentioned that Hyunjin's really impressing me this era yet? Because if I haven't, he is. I've always associated Hyunjin with like this kind of intense attitude, but he's so smooth with it. Speaking of people who are impressing me this era, Oh, that's the release. Oh my goodness. It's like the modern power ballad. The way that release came around, it was mixed in a much more modern way, but it sounded so much like what a power ballad from the 80s would have done. Oh, playing it in my heart. Oh. Love this falsetto section here. Lino, bring it back down. Subtle harmony here. And I love that we're getting that electric guitar kind of soaring back there too. Oh. Nah, Hyunjin on his own like that with the harmony in the background is not fair. Oh. That Seungmin Bangchan hold 2 in a row. And then right at the end, Han cementing his ace all-rounder status. Bro, the texture that Han threw in there at the end for that final vocal line with the full chest power. Wow. Wow. Takes me back to the not Queendom, that's the wrong show. Kingdom days. Oh, Han's so cool, man. Han's so cool. But Cover Me, yeah, 100% has everything that I love and adore about a power ballad done in that modern style. And it's so nice. And now, Hyunjin, do you want to leave me alone this era or not? Because, like, I mean, I'm not going to complain, but you're doing a lot this era for me. And color me impressed. It's, I have my go-tos when it comes to when we have a Stray Kids release. But Hyunjin just kind of like, he's punching into that group and almost punching clears at this era. And that's kind of terrifying me because my bias situation in this group is pretty much locked in. And to have that kind of like become a bit of an uncertainty is a little bit scary for me. But, oh, Cover Me. Great power ballad. Great power ballad. Although, I am curious as to... So this is song number 5. We still have one more new B-side on the album. And while admittedly, like, you know, a lot of a lot of pop albums end with a ballad of some sort or a nice soft song. This is a ballad, but it's pretty intense. So I can see why it isn't the final song on the album. But I could see this song making a case for it being the end of an album. But it isn't. We still have one more song to go, so let's check it out one time. This is Leave. Lyrics by Changbin Bangchan. Composition Changbin Bangchan and Juntu and Bangchan on arrangements. All right, so this is the last new B-side on the album. So technically, song after this is the Korean version of Sociopath featuring Lisa, which was originally a Japanese release. We're going to be skipping that. I believe we ran through that on the boy group catch-up marathon we did in like September or something like that. Beginning of October or something. And then track number 8 we'll get to later. So let's check out Leave. Okay, I can understand why I can understand why Leave is the final new song on the album now. That Seungmin IN combo is, I feel like, underappreciated. They pair so well together. And I really appreciate that the rap line is lessening the intensity of their delivery for a song like this. Take away the bass for the pre-chorus. Nice natural release for the chorus. The subtle wailing guitar in the background. Yeah, the rap line and their super delicate approach on this on the song is so good. Honestly, it's my favorite part of the song so far is the fact how gentle the rappers are on this, especially with how intense they are earlier on the album. I will say this though, this pre-chorus is very nice too. I love that the bottom end is gone because it lets the vocal shine a little bit. Oh. Add a little filter back one time. Thank God that wasn't the end. I was getting nervous there for a second, wondering if that was how they were gonna end the song. We got one more. Get your shine, Seungmin. Hello, unison outro. You know what I have such a clear mental image of is that final La 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 section where all the members are singing together. I can hear that being repeated a few times at like a live show. Say they finish the concert, they finish the set list with Leave, right? They take that final La 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 La, I miss you. Like they take that section, they play it with everything. They get the fans to sing along. They cut the instruments, and it's just the members in the crowd, and then they finish with the crowd just singing that. Just imagine how cool that would be, you know? And as I mentioned at the beginning, it makes sense why this is the final B-side on the album, because it does feel like a completion song in a way. You know, pop albums can end with a ballad. While this isn't a ballad, it's got the kind of comfort and it's got the emotional, like, gentleness that a ballad would normally add to an album, just in a little bit more of a groovy, more upbeat pop song. And I think that's great. And pop albums, typically, you kind of listen to them similar to how you listen to a concert set list. And I think ending it on a song like this where, because I know ballads can be a bit of a divisive genre when it comes to the K-stands out there, regardless of what the group is, the ballad is often not a very well-received genre depending on certain groups. And while I personally love a ballad, not everyone does. And because of it, the K-pop industry, you kind of get different examples and different methods on how to finish an album. Some people end on an absolute massive banger, and that works too. But to get this kind of chill, groovy song like Leave, I think is a great alternative because it's not as slow as a ballad and it won't turn off as many people from it because it's not an explicitly slow emotional ballad. And it's one of those songs where it's definitely inviting for the people listening along to it, and you can just kind of sway along, wave along, sing along to like the repeated motifs and stuff like that. And I think that's great, especially from a fan's point of view, because it gives them a little bit of extra oomph to the song that they can really latch onto to really enjoy it, you know what I mean? I like that. Now, this is the one that I mentioned on the MV had really piqued my interest. Typically, we don't run through like remixes or language remakes of title tracks from like the past or from the same era. We only do it on exception. The most recent one I can think of is, well, there's two examples. Stacy's Bubble, we listened to the sped up version because I was just so curious as to what it was like. And Juanas's Baila Conmigo, we listened to the full Spanish version of it just because no one really does a Spanish version of a song in K-pop, and I was very curious by it. This is another one of those cases where I am more than willing to listen to the remade version just because, like, why wouldn't I? It's so enticing. This is La 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 La, the rock version. And I mentioned earlier, I grew up around 80s rock music, like all sorts of 80s rock music. I adore the K-band nowadays. If you've been around the channel for long enough, you know how much I love a K-band and how well I'm like trying to keep up with all the rock K-band stuff that's dropping. So to have Stray Kids drop a song that already had a decent amount of rock influence to it and drop a full-on rock version of it, oh, of course I'm going to be intrigued by it. So, track number 8, the rock version of La 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 La. Lyrics by the Three Racha members. Composition, Three Racha, Versachoy. So far the same as the title, but then you add the addition of Kevin and Tim Gomringer, and then Luis Bach. Arrangement, Versachoy, Bangchan, Q Beats, and Nico Young. Let's send it one time. Here we go. Okay, it has the heaviness I expected. Oh, interesting. The intensity feels way different. Oh, the drum part for this pre-chorus really shines. The riser. Oh, hitting the harmonic into the crunchy chugging guitar. La 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 la. What's really interesting about this rock version is you really feel how slow the beat becomes when it's just guitar playing the main beats in it. And then like once that beat kicks in and you get the pace for it, it feels so fast. But you still get the swaying action from the pre-chorus that you got from the original. The standout bridge. Let's see what this is. I tried to speak and I took the biggest breath on accident. having the guitar provide the extra 2-part harmony behind Hyunjin is so good. And this, the heavy kick drum action here. Nah. Okay, let's talk. Yes, it has everything I love about a rock song. It's got the intensity, it's got the texture, and surprisingly, the accentuated pacing you get from a rock song. I didn't realize how they were gonna make that, like, the original song plays a lot with like the feeling of how fast the beat is just based off, halftime, double time, things like that. You really feel the pronounced beat switches when it's in rock form. I don't know why that's the case. I love it. The intensity you get from the shrills of the guitar, the high, like, harmonic singular hits, the constantly moving lead guitar part, the chugging rhythm guitar and bass, the heavy drum kit. Man, it adds a different level of intensity, doesn't it? Oof. Having said that, though, I do miss the kind of pluckiness we got from the original. I think, like, those plucky synths we got in the vanilla version of La 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 really kind of added an interesting characteristic to it that really you don't get in the heavy rock guitar. Not saying I don't like it because of it, but having listened to the original, it's like that is a big part of the charm of the original, and we don't really get it, which is kind of a shame. But at the same time, it's meant to be a different genre remake, and on that regard, yes, they've done a very good job of it. I love that during certain parts of the song, especially at the end of that bridge when Hyunjin ends with the la 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 la, the guitarists became secondary vocalists, and they added the harmony behind it. I think that's so cool. It's so clever. I think the mixing of it is really interesting because not many people do a rock version, like remix of an original song, right? Like, typically pop songs that have a rock influence will just be a rock influenced pop song or just an out and out rock song to begin with. Not many people look at the rock genre and think, hey, we can spin this as a remix. Some people might. So there really isn't a whole lot to go off of in terms of reference material. But you feel the intensity of the original. You feel the pace changes of the original. In fact, I would argue it's more pronounced in the rock version. Like, whenever it goes into halftime, you really feel how almost sluggish the beat becomes. Like, it just has really heavy steps on every beat. Once the beat intensity builds up and we get into that double time with the really quick, like, bass drum and the intense drum part, that constantly running bass part, you really feel how fast the song becomes. And I don't think it would be noticeable in the original as much as it was here. And I think that's so cool. It's amazing what just changing the vibe of a song based on the genre it's using makes, huh? It's like, the original is already intense. The rock version, oh my goodness, that intensity is different gravy. And I am a little bit biased, I'll admit. But, a Stray Kids album is always going to be a great time, I found, and I was very much a title track merchant, as I like to call myself, until pretty recently. Like, I forget which album it was, but like, S-Class was probably the first Stray Kids album or era where I properly sat down and listened to their music from start to finish. Like, that 5-star album, listen, was a lot of fun. And, La 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 La, like, this era is once again really establishing the fact that Stray Kids will always bring the energy. And it doesn't matter if there's a ballad or like a light and gentle song thrown in there, they're gonna bring the energy. It's just gonna be in a differently packaged way. And I think that's really cool. And I really hope that that is a thing that Stray Kids will forever hold on to, is the fact that It doesn't matter what type of song it is, what genre it's based off of. Whenever they drop music, it's going to bring the energy. That is my wish for Stray Kids. Because, I mean, they've been doing it for how many years now? And every single time, they've retained the energy. Like, I have not listened to a Stray Kids song, or even like on the emotional ballads and stuff. I have not listened to a Stray Kids song where I've thought, it's like not punching as hard as it should, or it's not at the level that I wish it was at. I've never felt that way about a Stray Kids song. Sure, there are some songs that don't really resonate with me right away, but the energy that they bring will always be great. What they do at the level they do it at is very impressive to me. And I don't know what military enlistment is going to be like for them, just because I don't really know how old they are, how close they're approaching that, the mandatory enlistment age and things like that. But I feel like they've been around long enough to where I feel like we have to kind of start keeping it in the back of our minds now, which is a sad thought to think about, but is one of those things that will happen eventually. And honestly, I'm not really worried that their sound's going to change at all whenever that happens. I can't say that for a lot of groups. But the album itself, I'm not mad at it. I can't really give a whole lot like in negatives, I would say. I feel like this album goes by too quick though. I don't know why. Like the songs are a good length. But maybe it's because we skipped 2 songs on the album listen, why it felt so short. But it felt like this album flew by. Sometimes you get albums where you press play and you just kind of run through all the songs, and before you realize it, it's over, and it's already been like an hour, but it feels like it's been 15. That's the kind of feeling I get from this album. B-side of the album? COMFLEX? Blind Spot? Megaverse is really good too. I think COMFLEX might take B-side of the album for me, although if we count the rock version of La La La, I mean, I'm biased again, but that's going to take the crown for me, I think. But that is it from me today. Thank you all for listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today. Let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.